Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Coffees.
Conversations with Coffees.
Mm-hmm.
We did a couple takes before this, and I was like, we need some theme music, and then that's what I spat out. So,
Yeah.
you're welcome. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. What have we been up to today? What have we been doing?
Well, you gotta discuss this. What happened here?
Oh, the elephant in the room. Gotcha. I decided to trim my my beard a little bit, and my guard on the razor or shaver, whatever, decided to push in while I was trimming my mustache, and it went zoop, straight down. So
It was quite funny.
I was like, trimmed it all down, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not pulling off the Amish look really well, so decided to just trim it all back. But
before that, he was standing in shock for like a few minutes.
Like, dang, I can't believe
what
I just,
happened?
I can't believe I just did that.
It was really funny.
I don't.
But you look handsome either way.
Well, thank you. I mean, but I don't. I need a beard. Something about it. But it's getting hot out in North Carolina, so
let the face breathe.
yeah, it was 90, almost 90 last week. But trust me, it'll be back, y'all.
Yes, 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, probably. But what have we been up to today? What did we do?
We had some yummy breakfast.
Yep, it was good. Filling.
Had some Mexican chorizo omelet. It was fabulous.
Actually, you know what? Here's the time for a good question. When we go out, if I get pancakes or French toast, they look at me crazy when I ask them if they have cold syrup.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if anybody else asks for cold syrup.
No room temperature, no hot syrup.
I can't stand hot syrup. But they always look at me like I'm crazy. We go to the same place every single time, and let me tell you, this place is an awesome place. We love going there, but it doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning or a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You are waiting quite a while just to be able to get a seat there. So they're doing something good. But
right.
Just curious, does anybody else ask for cold syrup? Am I alone in that? Because they look at me like I'm crazy every time I go in there.
Well, I don't eat pancakes, but I completely understand when you pour the hot syrup on, like everything gets mushy.
Mushy.
Yeah.
Like that.
Maybe you just don't eat them fast enough.
It's,
think that's what it is?
Or just like cold syrup.
True.
Let's see. What else? Well, we usually when we eat breakfast, we go out to discuss, hey, what do we got coming up? What are we doing?
Brainstorming.
When it's just us, and we can have that quality, quiet, being by ourselves time. So, that's usually breakfast. Figure out, hey, what are we doing this weekend? What are we doing this weekend?
Hopefully we're gonna play in a float.
Oh yeah.
After we do some work, of course.
So we're helping good friends of ours.
They're doing lots of building in a short amount of time, so we are lending them a hand and
as much as we can.
Actually learning a lot of stuff
Yeah.
and getting a workout while we're doing it. So we're enjoying ourselves.
And they're building from they're constructing buildings.
Yeah.
On their farm and stuff like that. So.
Learning a lot of stuff, but definitely by the weekend's end, we are sore and barely able to stand up straight. So I feel like it's good for my soul, good for my body. But
while we were out this morning, we were like, hey, we need to stop by, go grab some things for this weekend, and came across a two-seater float, I guess you'd call it. They got like a pond / mini lake, I guess you'd call it. It's pretty big. It's massive. We went in last week when it was close to 90. Not we.
Yeah, I did not get in.
She will eventually, I think.
With the float, it'll be much easier.
Right. But we went in, and it was like really, really warm water on the top, extremely cold water on the bottom. So we're like, oh, we got 2 more weeks till this thing's like, all bath water around here, so it'll be good. But this week, I think it's supposed to be in the 70s. Depending on
high 70s, so almost 80.
Close enough, right? I mean, depending on how hard we work, we'll probably just jump right in. But decided to buy that. It's got a cooler in the middle of it, so I can
some backrest on the back.
Put some adult beverages right in the center with some ice, stuff like that. So it'll be refreshing and cool. So
yes, I love it. I'm excited.
So what do you want to discuss today?
Well, I thought it was a good idea from our previous episode. Let's encourage men to be men, to talk about gender roles in 2022. You know, our lifestyle is way different than it used to be when women stayed at home and took care of the children and
Did everything.
and men went to work. But now more and more women have full-time jobs. Heck, some are even, the breadwinner of the home, and and both parents are outside the home. So how do you divvy up, I guess, the household chores, the duties with the children? I just thought it would be an interesting.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Yeah, talk. And
I mean, it is. I know it is here, in the sense of, we have a system, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that comes from just being together for so long. I know that there's things that he doesn't care to do that I know need to get done, so it will happen. And there's things that he does that I don't know anything about. So, so he does those. But for the most part, we definitely, I'd say 50-50, divvy up.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part. But like,
I mean, there's so much. There's stuff inside. I'm that guy that toilets need to be clean. They're gonna get a very, very quick cleaning, right? She's gonna take her time and make sure it's done to her liking and things like that. So she'll just handle cleaning toilets and stuff like that. Not that I don't do it. I don't, because I know she's probably going to ask me, go hit it again. Like, no, it's not happening. Like, I did it. It's clean.
I would not ask you to do it again.
But,
I probably wouldn't have asked him in the first place.
Exactly. Just like I wouldn't ask her to go and hop on my lawnmower and cut my
you
grass.
missed a few sprigs out there. You want to try that again? No,
so,
we're not like that at all.
But I'm that guy. I enjoy cutting grass. I really do.
He thinks it's therapeutic, I believe.
I do. I mean, I got my headphones on. What I used to do way back when was I'd go to a basketball court and I'd play basketball by myself. I would, whatever, to clear my head. Now I just hop out there and cut some grass and things like that with my headphones in. Old age, I guess. Probably need to find a basketball court just to move around a little more. But yeah, that's so 2022. You've got women that are working full-time jobs.
Yes, and then they come home to children and a husband and are expected to do just the same amount of work. And I understand that, some of us are more privileged than others and can do like a maid or housekeeper, every once in a while.
And more power to you if you can, seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, that's some of the things.
You worked your butt off to be able to afford that.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah. But for the rest of us, we have to come home and, take care of the dishes or start a load of laundry or 3, and plan dinners and then make dinner and then do dishes. So all those things add up fairly quickly, and before you know it, your day's over and then you get to start all over again.
Yeah. And then you're headed into bed exhausted, and the husband's like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" And she's like, "I just did. Just did. Good night." So yeah, we in the beginning of our marriage, full time, both of us, like, let's make that bread. Let's make that bread. Let's make that bread. But we also knew we had to take care of, our boy one during, that time where we were hustlers. Right. I mean, just everything we could do to start building up our nest egg and things like that. And then over time, boy two came, and, roles changed to where she wanted to stay home. I'm like, absolutely, we both knew we could afford to do that. And, but before then, I think myself, as a husband, it was important for me to make sure she knew when she was working full time, like, you're not the only one that's going to do the dishes. You're not the only one that's going to cook.
Make a meal, yeah.
you're not the only one that's going to go around the house and pick up everybody's dirty clothes. And also our, both children, even now with her being home, both children, they can do their own laundry. They can cook their own meals. Boy 2 is...
he's pretty self-sufficient.
And has been since the age of 9. But
yeah. And I'm thankful for that. I want to teach him so whenever he goes out into the world by himself, that he's not, like, oh, what do I do? Or how do I do that? I mean, I want to prepare him. I feel like it's my job to do that, to teach him those skills.
But I think it's important. Well, it was for me anyways, how are you going to sit there and say, when somebody's working full-time just as much as you are, that they need to come home and they need to prepare the meal.
They be the only one to
They need to clean the entire house. They need to pick the kids up, And
I feel like we go through phases. Like, I mean, we've been together, living together, like more than 23 years at this point. So I feel like some seasons of life, one of us will pick up, more tasks than the other, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And it's always worked. If there's an issue, then we talk about it and try to relieve one another. Like, hey, I feel like I've been making these meals for the last couple weeks and I'm just running out of ideas. I don't know what you guys want, or, I made this meal and you guys aren't necessarily eating. So what can I do different? And so he'll know, my issue or my frustration and try to pick up that slack. Not necessarily, cooking meals, but maybe give me more ideas so it's not redundant and doing the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I know that he's not the best toilet cleaner, so I'm not going to ask him to clean the toilets. And it doesn't bother him as much because he doesn't have to sit on the toilet like women do. Same with sheets, I feel like...
That's a huge, I love some clean sheets.
Yes, but he won't take them off unless it's like, hey, it's sheet day, you want to give me a hand or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I love clean sheets, but I'm also not the guy that's going to make sure his sheets are in the wash machine every other day or few days. Like, I'll sleep on them sheets, But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I just know that there's some task in our household that I find important, and I make sure that those are taken care of just, for me mentally to, check that off my list of things to do for the week.
And I know, like, if she's cooking dinner, me and Boy 2 are washing the dishes, loading them up in the dishwasher. It's kind of like you cooked, shouldn't have to clean up after all of that too, and
I definitely appreciate that, because I know that not all households are like that. And some days, I'll help too, and he'll be like, go sit down, enjoy yourself because you've been up the whole time. So definitely appreciate, acknowledge and appreciate.
Well, and it's like, those things, I can't stand clutter, neither can she. Everything's got to be in a place. But, I mean, that's typically, there's something that's not in a spot where it needs to be picked up. I'm not going to wait on you to have to, do that, knowing I can do it myself. Like, my hands and my feet work just fine.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like too, because everything has a place, whenever it's out of place, like you realize it and you can easily go put it back, exactly where it belongs, and then it's clean again. So I really do love that, and I love that you don't like clutter too. That's super helpful.
No, it just makes me feel just cluttered up here.
Yeah.
So, but what are compared to back then? As women were, what was the thing I read earlier? Jello molds.
Right. Joan Cleaver.
But if they were unhappy, I got a feeling you didn't know. Their best friends may have them, but it wasn't like
the neighbor or the
right, or just so outspoken about being unhappy, with having to take care of all that stuff. I think they just looked at it like, okay, this is our responsibility. Like this just needs, no one else is going to do it. I'm going to have to do it. My husband's out there, he's working, because it's different, you know. Men back in the 50s, 60s, stuff like that, you know, that's the woman's role, was to go and take care of everything in the house and make the jello mold, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's different from now, where, you know, you women started burning your bras thinking you guys got this loud microphone and everybody can hear you.
That's right.
Like, this is not happening, you know. That's I think is something that's completely different too, as far as their gender roles, as you call them. Women probably were not as outspoken or vocal about being happy like they are now.
Yeah.
Now it's, I mean, it doesn't matter. In the middle of Walmart somewhere and there's a wife cussing her husband out, you know. Doesn't really matter. And before, it wasn't like that. Like, I don't think it was, and it lived through the 50s and 60s, but I got a feeling they just did their thing, and, you know, maybe in the bedroom or something like that, where they had their disagreements, maybe, but
for the most part, a lot more respectful kind of world. I
think
like.
so. Yeah. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. Well, and I don't like, you know, having arguments or disagreements in public like that. That's not attractive. It's not good.
It's not at all.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want my kids to. Not that I don't want them to see us argue, but like if we're in a heated, you know, discussion or disagreement,
there's a time and a place for that stuff.
Absolutely.
You know? And it's not in the middle of, or in front of everybody.
Right.
But that role, I mean, I don't think you would have seen that back then, you know. I really truly don't think you would have. I'm sure they did, but, you know, for the most part, they were probably, wife was just like, all right, you know, whatever you say, Lord.
And she beats him over the head.
That's right. No, behind closed doors.
So as far as the men go, you know, I was talking about, so just one of these alone, like the whole going grocery shopping and coming up with dinner ideas every day. Like, it's not my jam. I hate, number one, I don't like going out to gather food. Right. I think I'd rather just... It was funny. We went to Aldi yesterday, and he was so excited to put the quarter in the buggy. Yeah, that's right. He's like, let me do it. Yeah. And I thought it was the We got in there, and I was like, all right, let's go. Right. Are you done yet? It wasn't even 5 minutes. I seen that look on her face where it's like, let's just walk down this aisle for no apparent reason. And I'm like, yeah, let's get in and let's get out of here. Let's go. Yes. Well, we only did get food, but they have an aisle of shame. That's what the Aldi people call it. Do they now? Mm-hmm. And it has all the non-food stuff, like cute little baskets and We didn't hit that aisle. We did not. He said, are you done? Steering the buggy this way. Yep. So. I can't. We were done. I'm not that guy. I cannot just go into a place and wander around. Mosey, yeah. I can't. Like, he has a plan and he's going. Let's done. Go. Yes. Mm-hmm. But so what about the men roles? I know that a lot of women cut the grass. Yeah, I mean, especially around here. I was flabbergasted whenever we first moved out to this area, just to see all the women, and I'm talking like 80, 90 years old, like probably shouldn't even be walking, but they're on their zero time handling it, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I thought that. And I'm like, more power to you. I cut grass because I love cutting grass. Maybe they're cutting grass because they're jamming with the headphones on, and they're like, you know, Deuce's husband. I'm just gonna do my thing right here, you know. But I know she's not the one to. Could she? Absolutely. There's nothing this woman can't do, but that's not her enjoyment, or, you know, she would rather scrub toilets or baseboards and not cut grass. You picked the worst two things to say. Well, baseboards that's what toilets. I'm saying. I'm saying you would rather do those two things than cut grass, you know? Well, because I can turn on, you know, the radio in here. Right. And, yeah. Well, but like cutting grass to me, I just don't let anybody cut my grass. I know where every rock is. I know where every tree root is. And I know if somebody else gets on my lawnmower, cuts my grass, they're most likely going to hit that rock, and I'm going to have to buy a $35 blade set again to change them out. So that's why, I mean, that's part of the reason I cut grass. But I do. I enjoy cutting grass, weed eating, and all of that stuff. But And you, so I guess if couples don't own a house, maybe they don't have to deal with this, but owning a home, you definitely have to get repairs done. Things break, and you either have to run to Lowe's or down in the basement or out to the building to find whatever so you can fix the pipe
and it's the worst. It's you just know from the tone of somebody's voice, Dad, it's like, it's coming. What did you break?
Right. What this time?
Right, because it's not usually a quick, simple, easy fix. It's like, okay, now we got to make 2 trips to 2 different places to get the right things to make sure it's fixed. So that does suck knowing you can't just call up the landlord, but hey, water heater broke, do something about it,
Exactly. So yeah, owning a home is definitely more work because you can't just call up the homeowner and be like, hey, this broke. Yeah. We need you to send someone out, or you come out.
But you usually let me handle. You prefer me to handle that stuff, right?
Right. I just feel like you're more competent. Now I will be there or go get you a tool.
You'll be cheering right behind me. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
That's so. If even when both of us were working, it was still, I cut grass.
Yep.
I did everything a homeowner would do, things of that nature, and you didn't mind doing the house stuff. But I didn't take advantage of piling the dishes up and be like, no, I'm not handling that.
Right.
I would just lend a freaking hand. If you lending a hand means your wife is going to be done with everything, because her day doesn't just stop at 12 o'clock when she's done cleaning whatever it was that morning, because it's going to amp up again at 3 o'clock when the kids come home. Snacks, dishes are getting dirty again, clothes are being that job picks up again, and then it doesn't. You could literally go until it's bedtime. So give them a freaking hand, and then guess what? It's like it's bedtime. Kids are starting to go to bed, and it's like, hey. And then she's not as tired, right? I mean, she's got some energy left in the tank, and you can sit back and chill like we did yesterday. Went outside and started a fire and got in the hot tub. Like, we had time to do that yesterday, and we weren't worn out. So
we still got in the bed at a good time. I thought for sure that it would be a late night, but it wasn't. We got in the bed around 10
because we just worked together.
Yeah.
I mean,
you definitely get more accomplished working together.
And then there's sometimes, though, now, and I will say, my job alone, it was I even working out in the elements. If it's hot outside, it's hot in, where I was working. So you would come home, I would come home, and it's...
You were exhausted or sore.
I don't want to do anything. And she picked up on that. Sorry, I thought I was going to spill. She picked up on that. And it's like, all right, go take a shower. I got you a meal ready.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. Chill out. But,
because I want to do the same for you as well.
Right.
I want to make sure that you have time even for a discussion whenever you're done having your meal and finally getting in the shower. I want to make sure that, you have enough energy to have a conversation with our son.
Right, exactly.
Or, spend time together as a family. Not all the time, but I definitely like to do that a couple times a week. Because, let's face it, we live together, but, sometimes you can feel disconnected or not necessarily as connected as you'd like to be. So.
And that's what I'm saying. It goes both ways. Usually as soon as, I lock doors at work, I'm on the phone with her, calling her before I even get out of the parking lot. That's our routine. She can sense it when I'm on the phone with her, like, okay, all right. But I'm saying, my point behind that is I can tell if she's having an off day too. Sometimes we're both having that. I'm extremely exhausted and tired. She's extremely tired. You know what? Some of this stuff can wait till tomorrow. Let's not kill ourselves, get ourselves in a frenzy and start bickering with each other because of how tired we are.
And that's what I've learned over the years too. It's not the end of the world if you got some dishes in the sink and you didn't put everything away, or it's not the end of the world that the clothes are in the dryer and you've already started them over and you just didn't feel like folding them.
Right.
They'll be there tomorrow. It will be fine. I feel like I learned a lot of these lessons after Christian left. Just to stop, smell the roses, and enjoy
Right.
your atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get these opportunities again. Like, once they're gone, yeah, they come to visit, but it's not the same.
Right.
You know, find joy in scrubbing those football pants, or find joy in cleaning those dishes, because you have a family to cook for. And if you can't find joy, turn on some music and, you know, try to scratch a better attitude for yourself. So
no, you have to, because if you're dreading, oh my gosh, there's another day I gotta clean, there's another day I gotta pick the kids up, you know, all of that stuff, it's gonna carry over into
the next day, the next week, the next month.
And then before you know it, you and your husband haven't talked in a few days, or, you know, even the husband could come home and, let's say this is your job as a full-time mom, and then they come home and they're like, what the hell is going on? Like, there's nothing that has been done today. And if you are not explaining to him the kind of day you're having, he's just gonna think you're freaking lazy, or vice versa, you know, if it's the husband.
Yeah.
Like,
what did you do?
Right, exactly. And
by the way, don't ever ask that question. You better find out, you know, how their day's going, and then find out, hey, well, so what happened here today?
Yeah. Don't just assume.
Right.
But
not a good plan.
But like, I could understand, and I know, like, there's some people out there I know that, like, what the heck is going on? Like, you've been here all day for multiple days, nothing is getting done. Like, what the heck? And I understand the frustration behind that. It's like, come on now. I mean, especially if the person's having to cook when they come home from work, you know, and having to do things, take the kids to school, go to work, come home, cook, and then it's like, what the, yay, you folded some clothes. It's like, what the heck? But those are conversations that you have to have.
Yeah.
Like, to get, like, what's going on?
Right.
Why are you so lazy?
Why are you so lazy? But definitely communication, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, whenever I have worked all day and I come home and this house looks like a tornado came through, like, I'm having some bad feelings.
But you got to get it done.
Right. No, but I'm saying you have to communicate those
With
to
him.
your spouse.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
you know, this really frustrates me whenever I come home, looks like the tornado came through.
Yeah.
So what can we do to fix this?
But you put yourself in...
You might have too much clutter.
But you put yourself in his shoes, where he's worked all day. He's dog tired, worked all day, worked his butt off. Regardless, sometimes if the women don't think they do, or even the other way around, sometimes the men don't realize how hard women work when they're working, you know, the job. But when you come home and you're just like, what the hell, like, what's going on here? And, you know, you're not communicating with each other.
Right.
Like, I think it's
But that's the key. You said it. You definitely have to communicate.
Yeah. Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Why are you so lazy?
Why are you being lazy? Like, is there a reason? And if there's not a reason, stop being lazy.
Right.
That's all I can say.
But maybe you can, you know, discuss it, talk about it. Maybe they just feel overwhelmed. Maybe they need you to, you know, have a seat on the counter while they're doing the dishes, or, you know, come sit at the dining room table while you're cooking a meal.
And you know what? That's another thing too. If let's say the wife's not working, you know, 8 to 5, her job is, she's a stay-at-home mom. That is her job, right? Other than the friends that she's talking to, maybe on the phone, you got to understand too, she's cleaning by herself, barely talking to anybody. She's talking to the kids whenever they come home. Sometimes they just want an adult conversation with no freaking kids around.
You might be the first adult that she's talked to all day.
So, you know, and then that could even come out as being frustrated, that they might need a minute to themselves, or 2 or 3, with a glass of wine or something. Like, just give me a break. I've been talking to kids or nobody all day, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 you know, you want to know things. But.
Exactly.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I hope that we maybe encourage you guys to communicate better, divvy up some household chores so one person's not always, flustered or extremely, exhausted each day. And if they are, then have those conversations. And
if they're exhausted all day, just hit your local inner city street corner, buy them some cocaine.
Oh my gosh. You can't put that on here.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
But thank y'all for joining us today. If you like this episode, please share it or subscribe to it so you get notifications next time we put an episode out.
Please. We're doing extremely well. All of the platforms that we're on. So we appreciate it very, very much. And
very much. We're
trying to make a go at this because we've got some pretty big plans up ahead. If this continues to do well and exceeds our expectations, we've got some pretty cool, interesting things that we want to do. So in order for that to happen, you guys gotta like it and share it
and subscribe
to it.
Thank y'all again.
Yep, that's to be. We'll disclose all of that stuff or talk about all that stuff in the future whenever we can start to get them plans rolling. So, but thank you guys very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, or if you're waking up, hopefully your day goes good.